Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. After a few weeks of planes and pints, we're cracking cans and catching up. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us! All right, so someone did point out to me that the last episode that we released, I mean, this just shows when we record things, guys, sneak peek behind the scenes, that we said, we probably won't post a lot in September. And then we posted quite a bit in September, and then we didn't post in October. We're now in November. Hi, everyone. We were busy.
I was going to say, we did post in October. It just wasn't a lot. Mm-hmm. Because what I will say is I want to say behind the scenes.
We've been going places.
What's funny is we started off saying, because September was bad for you, October was bad for me. We started off with, should we take a 2-month break? And then it was actually, if we can get things lined up, we can do September, and then it will be like into October.
And we had to put something out for our birthday, which is the end of September.
Yeah, and then it turned into like, if we stop halfway, oh no, because then it's our birthday. Okay, so if we post that, then we'll be off all of October. And then I was like, oh, actually, should I put this one out as well? It's like, all right, we'll put that one out as well.
And we did the yeast episode with Alex,
which was really good.
Put that out so that you could get the beers if you wanted to taste them. So that had to be timely.
But when we bought the beers originally, the plan wasn't going to be. That wasn't the plan, and then it was like an aha moment that it turned into the plan, which meant everything else shuffled out. Yeah. So this is our first time actually recording.
In what, a month?
Yeah, and potentially more than a month, to be honest.
Possibly more than a month, because we did a bit of batching.
Yeah.
Not enough batching.
Because I still think it's funny that we were like, we're not going to post in September and probably not October. And then it was like, well, we're going to do September, though. After we told everyone we're not going to post that much. You're right. Rightly called out by whoever called that out is, yes.
We appreciate that you listened all the way to the end and heard it. Because I thought about cutting it out, but the way we'd done it, it wasn't going to be easy to cut it out. And I was like, oh, well.
No one's going to. People get it next.
Do people get all the way to the end? Yes, they do. Thank you for listening all the way through, listeners.
Fantastic. Before we really talk about anything else and recap anything else, what are you drinking? What are you drinking out of?
I'm drinking Sam Adams Blueberry Lager.
Oh.
I do have some of this for you. In the massive box.
Was this the one that you're like, I had to get a bigger box of it?
This is in the mix box that I got from Beer Merchant.
Nice.
And
we had purchased an order individually.
Beer Merchant's got a whole bunch of Sam Adams and American beers in. And I saw it and messaged you and was like, they've got a Sam Adams mix pack. We definitely need to buy one. And then the weekend happened and we didn't do anything. And then we went on to do an order and the mix pack had sold out when we went to do an order. I nearly cried, but we were like, it's fine.
It's gone.
Fine. I was like, it's gone. We can't get it. But they had like some single Sam Adams cans and they had like a cherry wheat. And a summer lot. And
I got Sam Summer. Yeah, I got Sam Summer and I think the cherry wheat is the ones that I got.
So we did an order with those in. We put the order in. The next day I got an email saying that they'd restocked the mix box. So I was like...
You couldn't write it. We need to place the order or else these are going to be gone as well. So let's just put the order in.
So we did that and then they messaged me and I was like, I'm doing it. I don't care. So I bought some more. So they're in the box of many things that I have for Tori.
I don't even want to know how old some of the things are that are in that box.
I think they'll be okay. We saw it.
No.
When did we last see each other in person?
Quite a long time ago now, I think.
Where we weren't at a festival because we saw each other in July, but we were at Little Earth Fest, so we didn't take anything to swap.
Before that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I've got lots of fun things for you, and at least one of those is in the box for you.
Fantastic.
And I'm drinking it out of. If you're watching the video, I've got this really fun shaped glass. Now, what shape would you say that is?
It's a bit pinty.
It is, but it's
but
little.
it's like a mini version of like a.
Yeah, I managed to fit a whole 330ml can in, and that was about it.
It's like if you shrunk down a pint glass at a pub.
Yeah.
It's hard to see because it's slightly blurry on my side, so the shape that I can see looks like it's...
Yeah, it's kind of nonic pointy.
Yes.
It's not got the lip at the top.
Yeah.
Which is used for stacking. But, unfortunately, it's plastic. But it's from Haasttoberfest, which was an Oktoberfest style event I went to in Yakima at the Haas Innovation Centre. But these were the glasses that they were putting the beers in. And I was like, that's a really fun little glass.
It's a fantastic name as well.
Right.
Haasttoberfest.
I took my Dirndl. I wore my Dirndl. Some of the Americans had some really lovely Dirndls. I was very impressed.
I just feel like we should just have more opportunities to wear Dirndls. Like, why do we limit ourselves to like a week?
I went to a fresh hop festival.
I feel stifled.
End of the first week of October, and people were in the Dirndls of that.
But I feel stifled by the fact that we're kind of told, like, yeah, you get like 1 or 2 events to wear a Dirndl.
No, you can wear it. You can wear it at any beer themed event you like.
I think we should bring Dirndls back for more events.
Should we just start?
Just every beer event, like a
beer event in Dirndls,
like a beer festival that's like I don't know, like February, and we're just like it's Dirndl season.
I've been threatening to do it. I
would love it
because I've got my the blousey bit that you wear underneath the dress. Mine's got like I put 3/4 sleeves on it. But I've seen some that are sleeveless, and I was like, "Ooh, I could make a different blousey bit, so that I've got different ones." I have been thinking about doing that, so I feel like maybe we just start wearing them everywhere, and I have a variety of options.
We should make it a thing. The one I didn't buy that I saw that I really wanted to buy, but I was like, no, because it's too expensive for me to wear once a year.
Cheap.
Yeah, to wear because this was like an actual. Nice this was not like a costume one. From what I could tell, it wasn't a costume one. It was like literally like a nice fabric quality, like, and it was just like the pass fit. Like you didn't have the apron with it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a black lace one.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
And I was like, lovely. This is beautiful. This matches my vibes, and I want it so bad. But then I think it was like 100 and something quid, but like just for that dress. So I was like, I'd still have to get an apron to go with it. And then I'm like, and then what apron do you get? Like, it's the finding something that then matches the same quality, because then you're like, I can't just. Then you look up aprons, and it's like, oh, cheap looking aprons, and you're like, Then you're running up a tab of like it gets spendy, and spendy for me to wear once.
I know you never get to go anywhere.
Ever, anywhere.
But if you go to Germany, they have like entire shops for them. So, if you ever get to go anywhere and you get to go to Germany.
If I ever get to go anywhere.
And buy the pieces that you want.
Yeah, but then I feel like I'd have to be like it would get real serious at that point. They'd be like, what's your size? What's this? What's that? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You got to do it at this time of year, though, as well, because they're cheaper this time of year. Because the closer you get to like Oktoberfest season, the more expensive.
Because I bet people go over there, and then they're like, oh, I'll just buy one when I'm there.
When we went to Guillemoose this year, there was a stall selling like all the different bits, and I was like, this is going to be expensive. Let's go and see how much it is. And like just a waistcoat was like €50. Just the waistcoat, nothing else.
Yeah. I feel like...
I think it was wool, but still. And then I was looking at the different blouses. One of them was like €60. I was like, no, thank you. I can make that myself.
I didn't go to any Oktoberfest events this year just because I genuinely just have not had time. So it was like before holiday, like end of September was probably just busy with work stuff. And then it was like all the events were happening kind of like early October as well. And I was like, it's right before I'm going on holiday. And I was like, I really cannot go out and do some of these things. Because A, I need to not get ill before I go on proper holiday. And like B, I had so many things like life admin and work stuff that I had to make sure was done before I went. So like I didn't even get to use my Dirndl this year at all, which I'm livid about. But then
I used mine twice to make up for you not using
yeah, twice is nice. But I would have loved this like lovely lacy black one, which is just maybe I'll just buy it for myself and wear it around my house just for fun. Just for fun. Will we record podcast episodes in the middle of...
Yeah, you can just wear it.
Just every episode.
Have adult money. You can spend your adult money on what you want to spend your adult money on.
That's the thing is sometimes I have to remind myself that I mean, not now, because like if Rick could, like he would be so mad because we just got back.
Not after your recent trip.
We just got back after 3 weeks of spending lots of adult money. But like actually while I was there, I had to remind myself several times like I have adult money. Like I can, if I want, this sounds so ridiculous. Like, do I want this plushie? Yeah, I do. And I've got the money to spend. Like it's my money and I'm going to buy it because I want it. And the majority of the purchases was like, this is my adult money, but it was for like definitely like a plushie or a figure or for something. I think there's only like one actual like mature adult purchase and everything else was like, and I want it. Yeah, but now I'm going to spend it on a Dirndl that you're going to see me wear all the time. So did you have the logic around why you picked that? Back to your beer selection, was there a logic around why you picked that beer, or just because you wanted to drink it?
Because I wanted to drink it, but also it's an American beer, and I spent a fair amount of time in America recently, so
fair.
I felt that worked out right.
Yeah, that does. The math be math, then it do be like that. I check out. I mean, similarly, I've got a Sapporo, and this is not like. I mean, I'm not saying this is the height of craft beer or anything, but I just saw it in a konbini. You can't read it because it's all in Japanese, but it says Vintage 2025 on it.
Vintage 2025. That's exciting.
And it's got like hops all over it. If you're looking at the video, it's a green can with hops all over it. And
it's not your usual Sapporo.
It's not the usual, no. And so I just thought, well, you know what? Now's a good time to have it. So I got quite ill. Not quite ill because it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that dramatic. It was just cold. But Friday, so I flew back. So the reason I picked this obviously is because I was in Japan for the last this is my first full week back, as in case
anybody missed it, she was in Japan.
The last 3 weeks before that I was there, and this is where I got my Sapporo Vintage 2025 special release. I'm drinking it out of my Three Hills glass, and the reason I've done that is because that's three mountains in Japanese, so I thought that would match the theme, and because I didn't want to go plastic because I only have one Japanese glass and it's a tiny plastic one. But I've been so good for 3 weeks, like didn't get ill, nothing, but we stayed in more like rural areas and stuff. Getting to Tokyo and I was like, it's game over, bud. Like I was like, it's gonna be game over, I'm gonna get ill, like this is it. Everyone's coughing and sneezing.
Oh no.
You're so much closer packed together, like you're underground, like you're a mole person for half your life, because like to get out the subway you're like, it's 3 hours to the nearest exit to get out of, like, if you can get, I mean, I feel like an absolute legend because I managed to get out of like Shinjuku station in 10 minutes flat. Like it's impressive. Normally it's like the train stations are moles, just huge, just absolutely huge. And so I was like, this is just Germ City. Like, I'm going to get ill. Friday, which was the day before we flew out, was our last full day. And I started getting a cough. And I was like, oh, that don't feel right.
Oh, no.
And I was like, and my throat hurt a bit. So I kept going, this isn't good. And then, like, by the end of the night, I was losing my voice. Rick was laughing at me. I was congested.
Such love.
And he was like, you actually proper, like, that's proper bad, isn't it? I was like, yes, pretty bad. Yes, pretty bad.
My husband's love us.
And then, like, Saturday, we're on the plane. I wore a mask the whole time. Like, I sat on the flight with a mask. And it was really hard, actually, because I'm congested. So every time I go to cough, I'm, like, coughing the mask into my face, which was awful. And I thought, you know what? I spent 3 weeks going around Japan. And if it's the last full day and my flight home, which is when I have a cold, so be it. I'll take it. And the long and short of it is to say that the reason I picked this as well is because I thought, you know what? If I'm going to drink any of my Japanese-themed beers while I'm still not fully 100%, because I'm not, it's going to be the Sapporo Vintage 2025. So It's a very interesting taste because it's not I don't know, it doesn't taste like it's some really special beer, but it also doesn't taste like normal Sapporo. So I'm like,
oh, okay, that's fun.
It almost has like a bit of like the maltiness, the malty sweetness. I think is just amped up a little bit more.
Okay.
I do wonder if I were to read this, if it would say something about using fresh hops or something. Because I saw a few beers in Japan that were using fresh hops, which I thot was interesting. And if I'm just going to guess by the label, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a fresh hopped beer. I don't know. But maybe I was supposed to age it for longer so that vintage 2025 meant something. But it's not bad. It's just
if it's got fresh hops in it, then you should drink it fresh.
Yeah, I have no idea if it does or not. I'm sure I'll Google... while we're talking about other things, I'll Google translate it and I'll give you the play-by-play later. But yeah, that's my selection. I guess recapping the last few weeks that you said you've been travelling around... September was probably your travelling time.
Yeah.
Germany, US, all the places. See, I was in Japan in October. Congratulations are in order. You've won an award. You're officially, I can say here, you've won multiple awards, but I can officially say that you are the better of the two of us, and it's proven by a trophy. No, it's true.
Don't say
no,
that.
It's true. I'm putting it on the record. Like, I can now. This is going to be so good because now
hold this over me.
Yeah, now to the end of days, I could go. Oh, you are the better of the two of us because you've got the award to prove it. So yeah. Both of us nominated. Only one of us won. That's what I'm saying.
Both of us nominated. Yeah, both of us nominated, and we had assumed that we were nominated together.
So I did speak to several people because the nominations were like together nominations, from what I understood.
Well, no,
but you couldn't nominate together. A lot of people.
So I spoke to some people,
one in one,
and people So people nominated us. People nominated us together as a pair, and people nominated both of us singly.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. I just assumed you maybe got single nominations and mine were the together ones, because I know that when I nominated, I put you as one and me you as the first name and me as the surname. And that's what I did. Stuff like that.
That's what I did. But people nominated both of us together and separately, so they then decided to deal with us separately.
Oh, well, there you go. And this is how it proved that you're the better of the two of us. You've got an award. Tell us about it. Tell us all about your award.
Yeah, so if you're watching the video,
grace us with your
shoulder. It's over my shoulder. At the Women in Beer Awards 2025, I won Beer Communicator of the Year.
To be fair, you deserve it way more than I do.
We do this together. Like, a big chunk of this, I wouldn't be able to do this without you. This was your idea. The podcast was your idea.
Yeah, but then we look at the communicator, and I'm like, I do this, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go travel for 3 weeks, and I'm gonna ghost everybody on social media completely forever.
So it was like, it's difficult to try and remember what was said at the time, because you don't, none of us knew.
You're not really listening. Not that you're not listening.
So you're listening. You don't know if it's about you. Yeah. And so, and then it's difficult to remember exactly what was said, but there was some praise for the work that I do with customers at work as well as talking to people who aren't customers, and my education pieces, and then the podcast and everything. So, very humbled. I was humbled that I was shortlisted to begin with, and then to have won against, because there was some stiff competition in.
I mean, I was in that. Stiff competition.
Stiff competition. Tori was up against me.
Nothing brought me more joy than knowing that I didn't have to be that was I didn't have to be the center of attention on it, and then
I was going to collect yours on your behalf. I had words to say.
You had words to say,
about how much you deserved it.
She said she couldn't be bothered to be here. Holiday was more important.
I mean, I was gonna be like, she can't be bothered to be here. She's in Japan, but she totally deserves it.
I love the fact that nothing brought me more joy than being like, I don't have to be the center of attention. I get to be happy for you, and now I also get to be like, oh, and remember that time you were better.
Yeah, no,
this is going to be this is made. Actually, that was the gift that kept on giving.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But yes, that was a really lovely evening. We were at Echo Brewery's chat room.
That's what I was really gutted about. I did really want to go. Then when they said the date, I spent
the whole evening drinking Echo Black. Like, people were like, a smoked porter. Oh, should we drink that? And I was like, yeah, you should. They're like, should we start with it? I was like, I'm drinking it all night.
Yeah.
Get in there. It's amazing. And people were like, this is really good. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Tori and I have been saying this forever.
I couldn't say it more times. Genuinely.
There was also
they do the beer cocktails. Brewing,
they they were just doing. I think we were just doing beer. I think you could have other things, but most people were just drinking the beer because theirs was on, and they had beers on from the people that were nominated as Brewer of the Year.
Awesome.
So there was a round corner beer for Lara. There must have been a beer for Kate.
Yeah, there were. There should.
And then there was a closet brewing beer on as well. That was inspired by a Negroni.
Ooh.
That was lovely. I had some of that. That was really good. And then I just drank Echo Black all night.
Like the token, try the other ones, and then you're like, and now Echo Black. Great.
Yeah. But it was lovely. Really lovely to catch up with people, like people that are friends of ours, people that I haven't seen in ages, people that I've spoken to on social media but never actually spoken to in person.
Ooh, really that's a twist. That's a twist.
Lucy Doe from the Dodo Micropub. Like, we've chatted online and stuff, and we know of each other, but we've never actually met in person, so that was nice. She very deserving of her award as well.
Yeah, I just was so proud of everyone that won, and then even like the people that were runners up, like that were shortlisted that didn't win. It's like it's really hard to pick. It like genuinely, and it sounds so.
All of those lists.
It sounds so
amazing, people.
and that's it. It's like, I know it sounds so fake to just go like, oh, just being nominated is like a good thing, but like it genuinely is when you are in a pool of people that are just all such really good. Like, there's nobody there. Not that. I don't ever go, oh, that's like not a deserving, but I mean, like, the decision just feels like even that much harder because I personally know some of these people to go like, oh yeah, I know what that person's done, and that's like this person and this person and this person. Like, how do you decide between them? Like, I do not envy the judges for having to do that.
Yeah, that list of shortlisted people was like a who's who of women in beer in the UK right now, and it was
even the beer communicator. Like, I was literally just like, oh my god, like I was like, this is a hard list. Like, how do you? And then you start thinking
for beer expert as well. No, I'm not winning that. That was really hilarious, right? So for beer expert was me, Alex Blees from Lullermond, Natalia Watson, and Dr. Christina Wade, our friend Dr. Christina. And Dr. Christina was like, I'm not going to win. And I was like, you might do. And I was like, I'm not going to win. She's like, yeah, you're probably going to win it. And I was like, no, you're good. Like, no, you could totally win it. And that was wonderful. And like, she was like, I want all of us to stand together when they read us out. So all four of us were stood together.
Oh, that's cute.
And then they were reading it out, and they were like, you know, this person's written a book, and they've done all of it. So that, you know, that put me and Alex out of the running.
So then it's like, okay, and the next
book, and they're one of the most intelligent people that I know, and they've done all this amazing stuff, and it's Dr. Christina Wade, and she was like, what?
Yeah, so that's
like, she did not believe that she'd won.
And I think that's the thing, is like, that's me, that's me coded. Like, I feel like I'd be like, what?
It was so good.
that is like really hard, because like you said, like we just, as we said, we just had Alex on, like we just talked about like all the knowledge she has and shares about yeast. It's just like insane. So it's like, that's
so
easily there,
to be in there with those people,
easily there. And then it's like, okay, Dr. Christina, like, spoke to Dr. Christina, like, we know how much time and effort goes into researching one book, and how long, like, you know, one book will have been in the making, for example, and all the research she has to do for that. And then like Natalia, like all the stuff that it's just like, how do you, like, what I would love to be in the mind of a judge to be like, how do you go about prioritizing that list? Because it must be like,
apparently it was really hard.
You must never feel fully settled. Like, you must just have to do that thing where you're like, the clock's running out, so just like, that's what it is, fine. Like, you just have to, like, I guess I'm going with that.
I went along with Ruth, and then we met up with Andy from Elusive, and he was one of the judges. And so we were having a little chat with him, and he was like, it was so hard.
I can't imagine.
He was like every award was thoroughly debated before we decided who had won. So everyone that's won is very deserving of what they've won, and the shortlist was, you know, hotly contested. So it was great.
I don't even think I'd want the pressure of having to make that decision, because like reading those final lists, I was like, how do you decide between
some of the like the lists, like just being thought of to be on one of those lists was amazing. Like people had said to me, "Oh, I've nominated you," and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Double listed,
and then we got and then I got shortlisted. I got shortlisted twice. You got shortlisted. That was amazing. And then to actually win that award, like I can't tell you how much that meant to me. And like I didn't like I had that little thing where I was like, oh, you know, people don't, you know, we work really hard on promoting women in beer, right?
Yeah,
we work really hard on it, and I always feel like we do all this stuff for it, and are people really paying attention to it? Like, does it really mean anything? You know, you get that little bit of down about it, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I won this award. Like, it's lovely for my peers to have done that, and I love being there and everything. But I was like, I don't know whether anybody in the wider community is going to know. But I've had messages from people, like speaking to people at work. Like literally yesterday, someone at work was like, just found out that you won an award. That was well deserved. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm still getting people like congratulating me for it. So that's really harsh, like very lovely for people to be congratulating me. Thank you very much. I'm so humble about it. Like I'm just like, oh my God, everyone's still thanking me about it. But that it is being recognized within the industry as something that was important kind of is flabbergasting me even more. Like that's amazing, because that means that we're taking tiny steps, right?
Yeah, and
so
that's
hopefully
it's like I said, especially like you work in the industry, you do, you know, even before that you were doing education, you were doing lots of things, and you are so much more social media like you are so much more not influenced, because that's not what I mean, but like you are so much more.
We're communicators now. We're not influencers.
No. Influence wasn't what I meant. What I meant was you are so much more social media minded than I am. Like to the point that like you know all the best apps to use for that. You know, like you've got down the right format for posting and like all of that stuff. You put so much attention to detail into like those type of things. So it's like, even for me, I'm like, the fact that I got on a list with like you and other people, and I just literally am like, I'm just gonna fire out a photo and forget it. I'm like, oh, that's not. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Chaos too, girl. People like chaos.
I'm like a ball of chaos. I am
also,
a ball
your
of chaos.
Stories are like on fire. Like
only my stories.
You get so much engagement in your stories, and that is still valid.
Only my stories, literally, and I'll just be like, and here's another meme for the for the pile as well. But it's like that to me is I was just like, oh, I don't even like. Some days I just kind of go, I don't even know what I'm doing with some of these. Like, you could just blow up my social media in general, and I'd be like, oh, I guess that like you put so much of the effort into making sure like our stuff gets posted on time, and that it looks nice, and that it's all like edited properly. I'm like, I just write some words and go, we'll read this now, yay. So yeah, it's very well deserved, and I'm like, oh, the fact that I get to be on a list with people that are so much more put together in Britain, researched and present. I'm like, oh,
you were deserving of being on that list.
I was like, but I said it's really like it. That is the point that for me, I was like, oh, that's really nice, because I feel like, as much as I feel like a big ball of mess, I was like, to see when I picture a lineup of all very well put together presented people, and then like do you know that kid in Charlie Brown? That's the one that has all the like dust and stuff, right? Like that's what I feel like. It's like a ball of like that's the only way I could describe it, like a scribble ball. And I'm like, that's just me, of like I'm that scribble ball mess, and everyone is so well organized and put together and well thought out and well spoken. And I'm like, and then there's me, and I was like, but I made it on there, yay. And then you won an award at your work as well.
Yeah, at work I won Marketeer of the Year 2025. That was very much appreciated for that. Very nice to be recognised for the work that I've been doing for the last year. Feels like nice things are happening. Very pleased to be able to do that. I do like my job, so, and the crazy things it gets me to do, like going to Oktoberfest and off to Munich for Drink Tech and all these other crazy things. And then the podcast has been nominated for yet again two
categories.
Beer Guild Writers Awards.
Shortlisted.
Been shortlisted.
Yep.
For sustainability, for writing about sustainability. I'm very pleased about that.
Not writing about it, speaking about it. Because if you wanted me to write about it,
communication about
sustainability.
Yeah.
2 years in a row for Citizen,
and 2 years in a row for Citizen. Yeah, we're just gonna be the little losers over in the corner.
Yeah,
just pleased to be here.
Always the bridesmaid, but like happy to be it. Like I would say always the bridesmaid, but probably the maid of honor. Always the maid of honor, because it's like we're just happy we're included. Yes, and that we get to look nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to go to that, but
I can't go again.
Pending.
I'm beer judging.
So. All right, I'm pending a potential work meeting, but I think I'm going to be able to go, which is good. So.
Oh, good.
Excited. Yeah, like I feel like we're crushing it with the podcast. We're crushing it. Where I won a high achiever. I got to go to Madeira.
Yeah,
that was great. You've got awards. We've been shortlisted.
It's been a good year.
It's been a good
year,
stint
right?
of months. Okay,
right.
I feel like I
really
can't handle the the humble brags now. To go look at all the things we're crushing. This is great. So yeah, let's move on to the news. Anything else you want to add about things we've missed before we move on to news?
I don't think so. Yeah, we've drunk a lot of beer. I don't think we've drunk as much as we normally do, but like
I'm shocked about how much so like normally if we're going to talk about holiday beers and drinking for a sec, normally like when I go on holiday, we always talk about when we go on holiday, we've got like part of the planning part is being like where are the places we're going to go to drink. And I would say that even historically when I've gone to Japan and other places, like I've still done that. This time I had a whole list of places I was going to go visit for like breweries. But we did so many more rural places that like I just didn't have, and I didn't know where I was going to go on certain days and stuff. So like there were so many times that I just didn't have like any brewery or beer places to go to. And I would say on this trip, I probably went out to like brewery specific places far less. But I did go to the Yabisu brewery, and it's not functioning as a brewery anymore, but it's the historic place. What I learned was that the whole reason that area of Tokyo, Ibisu, is named that is because of Yabisu Brewery, because they started there. They put the railroad there, and somebody's going to tell me that's not quite right, I'm sure. But they put
own it.
Yeah, I'm going to, I haven't double fact checked this. I'm going from my memory, which is flawed at the best of times, and I'm sure I'm mixing like 3 or 4 stories together. But, gonna go with it. They put the rail station that was in that area there, and they used that to transport out the beer that was brewed there. And then slowly people started kind of like moving to that area and like using that railway as like public transport and stuff. And eventually the area around it grew, and they were like, yeah, we'll just call this area of Tokyo Ibisu.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, they named it after the brewery. And when you go there, all the street lights down the main road, they're all 2 beer glasses like cheersing. It's like literally.
That's really fun.
Yeah, it's really I
love that.
I'll send you the photos so you can see the photos. But haven't posted any photos from holiday yet. But that was like the greatest because like it's not a place that I would have thought to go to, but a friend of Rick's happened to be out there as well at the same time. And he's like, should we meet up for a drink? I was like, let's meet up for a drink. And he's like, I've always wanted to go here, but never have. Like, would you be interested in meeting there? And Rick's like, well, my wife's very into beer. So yeah, like we'll happily go there. Yeah. It's all good. And walked around it. And it was really cool. The beers were really, the beers that were on tap, there was some really interesting stuff that was on tap. And like learning about it was cool. And then just getting off the train and just seeing these like street lights, the street lamps that are just basically like pints that are cheersing. And just like, it was so cool. I was like, I'm taking 1 million photos of this. I would like to buy this for my house, please. It was fantastic. But news. Let's move into the news.
Let's move on to news.
Let me hit you some news roundups that I've got, and then we each have individual news stories based on
I have a story
our last few months.
Sure.
So I thought, I used AI to just say, can you summarize some news stories for me for the last chunk of time, and then it gave me
check that it's true.
Well, they gave me a chunk of really shit stories and I wasn't happy with it, so I had it regenerate again, and I was like, also not happy with this, so I eventually just went and found my own news stories, because I was like, these are not what like, they gave me lots of facts and figures, and I don't like numbers.
You don't like
so I was like,
no.
I was like, these are too many numbers, this is number heavy, and it's using lots of like business, like corporate speak, and I was like, this is not for this.
Don't want that on a
woman's
woman's brew.
Yeah, I was like, I can't be having this. This is not.
No.
This is too much for me. It's not palatable enough. So
need some jolly fun stuff is what we need.
Yeah, so I kind of went, and I still got some news.
Okay.
But so as of, this is a November news piece, the World Beer Cup of 2026 registrations open. Breweries can now register between the 11th of November and the 12th of December, and the competition will be held in conjunction with the 2026 Craft Brewers Conference and Brew Expo America, which will be held in April 2026. But what I thought was interesting was they are adding new styles to the categories. So they've got Czech style amber lager and Czech style dark lager.
Okay.
Mexican style lager, Mexican style pale lager, and just Mexican style in general. Then they've got an amber lager and Mexican style dark lager.
I had a Mexican style dark lager while I was in the US from Grand Fur, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting, let me try it. And then I realised it's basically a Modelo Negro.
I love it, like, and I thought that was interesting, and then it was,
and then I was like, but Modelo Negra is great. Like, if you're in Mexico, it is a great beer. And then I was like, oh, that's what a Mexican dark lager is. Oh, it's great.
I was gonna say, I was like, when's the last time that I even had a normal Modelo? But I was like, I don't have to think that hard. Again, it was when I was in Japan.
I also had a regular Modelo while I was in the US in a dive bar before I sang karaoke.
Oh, I feel like that's double bonus points right there.
And we've been doing Jello shots earlier in the day.
That's not the one.
That was it. So it was a colleague's birthday. So we went to this really fun for her birthday to start off with. We went to a really fun wine shop / skate shop.
Oh, I like that.
So
was there like ramps and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So there was
the youth in me is interested.
I knew you'd like this, which is why I was like, I need to continue this story. So it's a husband and wife team, and the husband likes skateboarding and the wife likes interesting drinks. So it's like, so there's the skate shop where you can buy skateboards and shoes and that, and then there's a ramp outside the back, and then the other side is natural wines or like interesting wines, craft beer, craft cocktails, and then they've got a bit out the back where the ramp is, but then there's like a bit of a patio. And so my colleague was having her birthday there, and so we went and had some drinks with her for her birthday. Then me and my other colleague went to the high school football team booster, which was a silent auction
casual
to raise money for equipment, because did you know a football helmet cost $325?
Yeah,
I didn't know. We didn't know that. We were very shocked that helmets are so expensive.
They are indeed.
So they were raising money. So there was a silent auction, and she was like, "This might be rubbish."
A silent
so we're going to pop in,
stressful.
show our faces, and go. And then we got there, and it was super fun. So we stayed.
Did you win anything? Did you bid on stuff?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a football helmet?
No, I didn't get a football helmet. We did, but we bid on something that paid for a football helmet.
Oh,
so that's how we found out how much a football helmet costs. But there was a regular auction, and then there was a silent auction, and I bid on, because there was like people had put in like baskets of things, and like there was a basket that had like pumpkin bread and a lovely blanket and a lovely candle and things like that, and I bid on a book basket. Right,
fair.
That was like made for me, right? So it had 3 local books in it, a glass, like iced coffee cup, a really lovely candle, some handmade bookish earrings.
Was there smut?
A bookmark? No, I think it was There was a fantasy one, a romance, and I think it was a thriller. And some of them were signed by the author.
Oh.
It was a really lovely little basket. And so I put down, I think I put down like something stupid like $30 or something. And then I went back and someone had bid me, so I put it up to 50.
How does it work
then?
So like I'm envisioning when you say silent auction that you're sat there and you're putting a paddle up but not speaking.
So regular auction, we were all in the room and then they put things up and you had a paddle. And then silent auction, there's a piece of paper down. And so
are you just constantly watching of like who's going in my auction item?
So there's loads of things laid out, and you put your name down, and then someone can come and bid after you, and then there's a cut-off time, and whoever's the last person at the cut-off time.
Do you hover by the table at the cut-off time?
No, so you don't. Right? So
I would.
It's quite a long period of time, and so I think I put down 30. And went away and was just like, that's it. And then they were doing, and I was just like, I really kind of want that. I really kind of want that basket.
I think if that were me, I'd be hovering.
Like that, we'd been like, because there was food, so there was like a buffet, and like they were doing barbecue, and so the football players were there, right? Because the families are there and the coach, and so
then you see them, you feel bad.
It was for the kids. We were doing it for the kids, so they don't hurt their little brains when they're playing football. And they were coming around and they were just like coming around with platters, and they were like, meat. Is
it like a smoked brisket and they're like meat
so
for madame and you're like yes I would
meat. They had brisket, they had chicken, they had ribs, and they were just like, can we offer you some meat?
That's my dream.
Like, yes. And we took what we wanted. It was so funny and so hilarious.
My actual dream.
And I'm sat there, right, and then I turned around and they were like, oh, are you having a good evening? And I was like, I swear I didn't do it on purpose, but I went proper English whenever I was talking to any of them. And I was like, yes, I'm having I'm having
the most wonderful time.
I'm having the most wonderful time. And they were like, where are you from? And my friends were like, oh, she's come over from the UK. And they were like,
England. You simply must visit us.
And they were like, someone from the UK is at our thing. Like, it was so funny. I had the best time. But so then they were like, oh, and we'd had some food and we'd done a bit of auctioning. And then they were like, okay, we're going to close down the silent auction in about 10 minutes.
No, ma'am.
So if you want something, go round and have one last look. You've got about 10 minutes to finish up. So I was like, I'm going to go and have a look. And I went and looked, and someone had outbid me, and they put down 50, and I was like,
60.
I'm putting down 70. I'm putting down 70. So I did. And I won. But you don't find out, so that you get a paddle with your number on it, and you just put your number down. And then so when you get to the end, you then take your paddle up, and you settle up with what you've got. So if you've done an auction, they put it on the back, how much you bid, so it's on the back of your paddle. There was also, have you ever heard of a dessert dash?
No.
Oh, this was great. And I was like,
this sounds stressful. It was really stressful.
It was
like
quite stressful.
What I think you're going to tell me is a dessert dash is so like the puds are here. You have like 10 minutes to grab all the puds you want and then leave. No. That's what's stressing me out.
That's not how it works. So dessert dash, and I was like, this is actually a really great fundraising idea. I really like it. I'm bringing it back. So there's an envelope, and you put on the back of the envelope how much your table is putting in as a bid for the dessert dash. So you put down how much you're bidding for your spot.
Do you get to see the puds first?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a table with all the desserts out.
Okay.
So you go along, you see what desserts you want. We had a strategy.
Well,
which one we wanted first.
What's the what? Give me a flavour of the puddings.
So I mean, there was like a full size like iced cake. There was like tray bakes. We wanted to go for, so there was a 3-tiered like cardboard stand, and like the top layer had macarons, the middle layer had Rice Krispie treats, and the bottom layer had like cake pop truffles on it.
That's all that takes, is you're like, that Rice Krispie treats.
But it's like, it was several, and you got the whole thing. So we were like, we're going to go for that because it's 3 different types of
the audacity.
Thing,
I'm shook.
Right? So we were going to go for that one. There was like there was chocolate cake. There was everything you could think of was on there. So you put in your bid, you send it in. So then they do dash. So what they do is they base it on how much money you put in. So the table that put the most money in, they get to dash first, and then they go down the list. And they have 60 seconds, which was a lie, because they were like, you've got 60 seconds to dash to the dessert table, get the dessert you want, and go back. And they didn't. They just called out the number and then waited for someone, because this is a big like community centre hall. So there was like, yeah, if your table was all the way at the back, you had to go run all the way up to get your dessert and come back.
Which should be 60 seconds once you get to the front.
Right. So, but then so it was like they went up, and then so the people came up, picked their dessert, and went back. So it was basically in order of how much money you'd put in. We thought we hadn't done, I can't remember how much we put in, but we didn't think we'd done too bad. But some of them parents were spending some cash.
I mean, I'm not being funny. You throw like a pumpkin pie out there, or a pecan pie, or
people were, yeah,
a trifle.
They were not, but then we were watching what they were picking, and I was just like, these people are not like getting their money's worth.
No, it's just
you are not picking the good desserts here.
It's, I mean, look, I'm not being funny here. You're not picking the good desserts. You went for Rice Krispies.
I mean, I'm not saying we were picking the top tier dessert. We were picking a dessert that would meet the needs of everybody on the table.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment.
We were fine with that.
I would be like I will put so much money out for a pudding, and I bet Rick would be on the same page. We would be like flashing the cash for pudding, but I want like the top tier, like the nice cake, like the nicest cake you have. I'm like, that is me. I'm taking it home.
We weren't even in the middle of the pack. We were like middle of the bottom of the pack, and we still got the dessert we wanted, so we were pleased. But people were like leaving their puddings on the table, like they weren't finishing them and taking them home, and we were like take your pudding home. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, it's about spending the money for the kids, but also if you're going to get a pudding out of it, you shouldn't leave the pudding behind.
And then so you got 2 drink tickets. So they had like some beer on. The first time I've seen a party pump used, so that was exciting.
A party pump?
Yeah, so you know the ones where like it goes in the keg and then you're just right. Like we don't have those over here, do we?
No, I guess not. I didn't think about that.
I was like, I know the mechanics of it because I had to know it for my sister own training, but we don't have them over here. So I was like, oh, that's exciting. Keg in a bucket of ice, pumping it out. So that was fun. But then you could have drinks. They had wine, they had beer, whatever. But then they were also doing dollar Jello shots. So we did a bunch of dollar Jello shots, and it was great. We had a super fun time. And then we went to the dive bar and did karaoke.
What was the flavour of the Jello shots?
Various different flavours.
Did you get to pick it?
No, because the others just went and bought them. Yeah. So someone would just go, like someone would go to the toilet and then come back via the bar with like 6 Jello shots.
Oh, I've never felt older just hearing you say that. I'm like, oh no.
It was a super fun time. Anyway, I had the whole point of this story was I had a Modelo that night.
I also had a Modelo.
In the dive bar before I did karaoke at my colleague's birthday.
I had a Modelo. I can tie this in. I had a Modelo in Japan. I could tie this into our travel conversation.
You had a Modelo in Japan?
I had a Modelo in Japan. We went to a place that was like an American style. Like they did, I had a chopped cheese sandwich, which I'd never really had. A chopped cheese sub, sort of, but it's its own thing, sort of. But it's his own thing, and it's something from the Bronx, which I'd never had before. So it's more like Bronx, New York style. Like this is what the theme. This is a really cool looking place. Like there's a barbershop in the back that's like completely sectioned off, but to get to it, you have to go through this like quote unquote restaurant. The restaurant's just this tiny little like stand. Amazing food. The guy was really friendly. Yeah. And the whole thing is like made up of like to get. When you enter in, it's all brick on the inside as well, and it's like the pattern of the brick was very like checkerboard, really just like really weird, like stacked really weird. I'll have to show you a photo. People listening to this are going to be like, this is the worst audio format I've ever heard because I can't even begin to describe it, like how it worked. Like there's no way for me to verbally describe it. It was just like different stacked heights of brick, where it would be like you'd be sat on one and there'd be like brick next to you that's really high. And like basically I ended up just getting a Modelo because I was like the options were like a Corona or a Modelo or some soda, and I was like, I kind of want Modelo.
And actually Modelo. So that's literally what I did in the dive bar. I was like, what you got? I'll have a Modelo.
I mean, like, look, I'm not adverse to a Corona if the moment suits, but I was like, Modelo feels. I was like, Modelo feels right for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Modelo. And it was really good. So this was all to say that one of the new categories that was added to the world beer was a Mexican dark lager.
Mexican pale, a Mexican dark lager.
Yeah. And then we also have 3 more categories, just moving swiftly back onto that as if we never deviated off of it. Rice lager was one. Green tea beer and other tea beer is its own.
Beer.
Yeah, green tea beer and other tea beer is its own category. And West Coast style Pilsner. So to recap, it's Czech style amber lager and Czech style dark lager, Mexican style light lager, Mexican style pale lager, and Mexican style in general. Amber lager and Mexican style lager. Rice lager, green tea beer and other tea beer, and a West Coast style Pilsner. Although reading that, maybe that's supposed to say Mexican style amber lager and it's just the way it's separated went really weird. That would make more sense. But that is all the new categories that were added into the World Beer Cup 2026. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. I love that we just took a 20-minute tangent about Modelo just to be like, and the World Beer registration.
It wasn't really about Modelo. It was about me having a great time at the West Valley High School booster.
Rice Krispie treats and me being outraged by the fact that you're like, I chose Rice Krispie treats.
The pop cake truffles were really good.
That does sound good though, I'll give you that. So that was the first beer news round. That was just one. I think the next one you'll find interesting because there was a whole slew of like articles that I found when it came to like non-alcohol beer. Granted, only one of them was from October, but then it led down a path of like, here's some other articles. So basically there's an article that says Germany leads in alcohol-free beer, which is saying according to, so this is, I've paraphrased, I've taken some stuff from the article, but according to IWSR, which is a London-based firm that tracks global alcoholic beverage data, Germany has become the world leader in the consumption of alcohol-free beer by volume.
Really?
Apparently this year at Oktoberfest is the first time that every single beer serving tent had a non-alcoholic beer on offer. Last year, exciting. All of them bar 2 had it, and this year all of them had it, which I thought was really interesting. And it says basically, according to the German Brewers Association, non-alcoholic beer accounts for roughly 9% of beer production and consumption in Germany currently, with the figures expecting to hit double digits in the coming months.
I do have an alcohol-free Augustina Pils in my fridge.
Ooh, you'll have to report back on how good it is.
It's supposed to be really good, but it's really difficult to get hold of. And when I was in Germany for the Hallertau Harvest, we had some in the office fridge in Meinberg. And some of the brewers were like, "Oh, this is supposed to be really good. Oh, you can't get hold of it." And I hadn't taken it, I hadn't had any beer out of the fridge on the day. And as I was leaving, one of my colleagues was like, "Do you want to take a beer home with you?" And I'm like, "I'm going to take one of those Augustinas then, because they're supposed to be really hard to get hold of." But it's still in my fridge. I haven't drunk it.
You've got more restraint than I do, because I would have been like, I'm taking this now. Bye. You need to do, I feel like you need like an alcoholic one, and then you need to
I need to compare it,
you
right?
need to do a comparison, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really interesting. But then like in parallel to that, there was also another article that was posted that basically said the global non-alcohol beer market is projected to reach $43.9 billion by 2023. And it was basically an article that was written by the Brewers Journal in September saying that according to that article, alcohol-free beer is expected to capture over 62% of the market share for 2025, and non-alcoholic beer is forecasted to comprise 54.6% of global sales, which also linked in with another article that was posted back in June on Yahoo News, which who knew Yahoo is still a thing, basically stated that non-alcoholic beer was expected to grow to become the second largest beer category worldwide. And that was also based on reports from IWSR. And part of that article said that the growth appears to be driven largely by millennials and Gen Z, who are more interested in a sober lifestyle.
So that's interesting, because we spoke to, when I was over in the US, we had a beer industry economist come and talk to us. And so they literally just look at beverage trends, beer trends, so that they can they boil down those stats and they dive into it so they can give that information to brewers. And this is off the top of my head because I didn't know you were going to talk about this, so I didn't look back at my notes.
No, we did not. No, I just compiled this right before here to try to fill time because I didn't know we'd talk about Modelo for however long
time. But from their research, yes, millennials and Gen Z are drinking less, but they're actually looking for mainly because that category aren't of drinking age yet. Gen Z, when they look at it, a chunk of it isn't of drinking age yet.
I was going to say,
so they can't be drinking more because they're not old enough to drink.
As a millennial myself, I can also say you're right. We are just so young.
So there is a chunk of that where you've got to be careful with those stats.
That's really interesting because I didn't consider that as part of it. I see a lot about Gen Z, but I never actually considered about the percentage of those that legally can drink.
Some of them are not of legal drinking age, so that's why they're not drinking because they're not of age, and also they are coming to alcohol later in life, just generally. And part of that is because they are a generation where everything they do is online, and everything that we went out. My age. I'm a what did they say? I'm a Zennial, like I'm between Gen X and millennials. And we grew up where the internet didn't exist, and then we've matured in the digital age. But when we were kids, you did something stupid, it didn't end up on the internet as a viral video. It happened.
Yeah,
and,
same thing.
The younger generation now are being more conscious about what they do because someone could be filming you and putting it on YouTube.
110%. Yeah, I had this conversation as well. So
they're coming to things later in life. So that's why they're drinking less. And another factor is they are looking for more premium, like they're looking for flavour and more premium stuff rather than, when some of us used to drink something really shit out of a plastic bottle in the park.
Just because.
So they're looking for, or when, gross hooch was about and we all drank that. Now they are looking for things that are tasty, things that are premium. So that's where the difference is coming from. And he said that from their research, the non-alcoholic beer category is growing, but they don't think it'll ever, that like it was projected to get into double digits of percentage of the beer market, and they don't think it ever will.
Interesting.
It'll still grow. It'll grow, but they don't think it'll ever be like it's not going to take a massive chunk away from regular beer.
It'll be interesting to see what happens like into 2026. So I said some of these articles here were saying like, oh, it's projected by the end of 2025 to be this way, and by 2026 to be doing this. So it'd be really interesting to kind of see at the start of 2026.
Yeah.
When they crunch the numbers for 2025, like what actually happened between what they projected for, Q3. I was like, I don't want to do numbers in tech speak, but like the Q3, Q4 numbers get crunched and they go, this is actually what it looks like compared to what their predictions are. So that's really interesting because, I completely relate. Cause like I also, even though being a millennial, like I also grew up at a time where I'm probably an older part of the millennial age as well. Was like I grew up without the internet. And then got the internet as a younger person, but like, and went through the internet being just like the lawless place that like your friends weren't on, but like everything that you weren't supposed to see is there, but it's not anybody that kind of thing. So it's like really interesting, that concept now of like, well, they have to be a bit more cautious because somebody could be filming you on the side of the road and you end up, it's interesting to hear that they're actually considering that.
Yeah.
As something
like my colleague said the other day, her older son isn't like, he doesn't go, like he just stays at home, he doesn't go to parties and stuff, and she's trying to encourage him to go out with his friends and go to parties and stuff like that. Like she kind of had to force him to go to a friend's party the other week because she was like, go out, go experience it, you don't have to stay for the whole time, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, but just go and experience it.
It's so interesting how many are like, no, I'm not interested,
but they're hanging back because because there's this slight fear in the back of their minds that something's going to happen and they're going to end up splattered all over the internet.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept. No, that's very valid points that you've just raised that I didn't even think about. But yeah, that's what the news says there. So next news article I've got is Heineken UK. Basically they've dropped the Foster's alcohol strength from, they've decided that they are dropping it from 3.7 down to 3.4 to make it eligible for lower rates of alcohol juicing.
That's what I was going to say. Is it for lower rates of alcohol juicing?
Which is like, that's wild. They're like, we're going to make it a 3.7 down to a 3.4.
Right.
And everyone's like, whoa, okay. But the change isn't going to go into effect till February. So apparently, according to this BBC News article, this is the second time in 3 years that Foster's has diluted the ABV.
Oh.
So, I mean, I can't, to me, it's just all diluted, but it is what it is.
It's not great anyway.
Not for me. I think
not for me.
I've moved on beyond that.
Foster's.
I've moved beyond that point where I think when I go for cheaper beer, it's not Foster's. So
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then my final actually not my final, but my second to final news roundup is, did you hear about the cyber attack with Asahi?
No, I did not.
Very interesting. So I'll take you through the timeline. 29th of September, there was a disruption at the Asahi group that was noticed, and it was caused by a cyber attack. Turns out that breach involved ransomware attacks targeting the servers that manage the orders, shipments, and customer services domestically. That end of September, beginning of October period, the ordering, shipment, and call center systems completely went offline. The production lines were also indirectly impacted because they couldn't ship. And therefore, basically the people they were supplying to had to be warned that there was like possible shortages because they couldn't
shortage of Asahi.
Yeah, because they couldn't ship. So they were like, well, we can't really do anything there. Therefore, there's potentially shortages with people that are actually needing to get it from us.
Yeah.
On October 2nd, the production resumed at 6 of the domestic factories, but obviously there was still kind of ongoing investigations. On the 3rd of October, it was a confirmation that it was definitely a ransomware attack, and they were still processing orders manually and shipments were suspended, and they were still under investigation of like what was going on. At one point in between, like after the 3rd of October, the media announced who they thought was behind the attack and stuff like that. But on October 8th, production finally resumed. However, there was a noticeable market volume shift that was observed, and the competitors basically benefited from the disruptions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, even in that short chunk of time?
Yeah, even in just like a few weeks. And I think it was because like they had to kind of go like, it was like, what, a week? And they were I remember reading the articles that were like, oh, it's doom and gloom, like there's going to be a shortage in Japan of Asahi, and like, you know, there's a shortage is coming to the production because the cyber attack, they can't get the production happening, they can't get stuff out. So I remember reading like articles that were all about that, and I don't know if people just like panicked and then was like, whoa. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. It's like, it just shows that even if you are a bigger company like that, there's still the impact that a cyber attack can have on you is quite substantial.
It's just missing that short window of time.
Like, just a short window of time. Yeah. And that, like, you have to think as well, that's like multiple domestic factories. Like, so we're talking like 6 domestic factories. They had ceased production at that. They only started resuming. Like, that was out for days. Like, how much volume wise was that producing? Yeah, like, just wild. Wow. And then my final news article before we go to our personal ones, I thought you'd think this one was interesting. I'm just going to read it because it's very short. So it's called Rare Bottles. This is also on Yahoo News, which I think is hilarious that Yahoo's producing some of these stories, but whatever. This is Rare Bottle of 150-year-old beer opened to recreate original recipe. So a Scottish brewer has opened one of the world's rarest beers to create a modern take on the historic ale. Dougal Gunn Sharp, founder and master brewer of Edinburgh-based Innocent Gun, on Thursday, and this was, when I say on Thursday, this was literally yesterday because this was posted on the 13th of November. On Thursday, opened a 150-year-old bottle of Allsop's Arctic Ale at the firm's Perth brewery. He was joined by Jamie Alsop, director and descendant of the original Alsop brewing family, who created the ale. The ale was opened, tasted by the two brewers and members of the media, and then poured into a mix that aims to taste and look almost identical to its predecessor. The original ale was brewed with a high alcohol and sugar content to withstand temperatures of around minus 40 C while sailors explored the Arctic.
Wow.
So I thought that was really interesting. So we'll have to keep eyes out to see when that beer gets released and how hard it's going to be to get.
Yeah, that's going to be well hard to get right. So Allsop's made one of the first... It made one of the India Pale Ales that went over to India. And, you know, set all of that lovely story in motion about sending it over to the troops over there, because I think Allsop's is the recipe that Pete Brown looked at to recreate it, because he recreated the journey in his book Hops and Glory, where he made the pale ale and then took it over to tried to do the same route to see what the difference was.
Interesting.
And he put it in a wooden cask and took it to see those differences, if he could recreate what happened when they actually did that. And I think Allsop's was the recipe that he used.
It's really interesting. But yeah, no,
I tell me I was wrong about that. But...
I had heard about Allsop's before.
Yeah.
Like the name was definitely really familiar.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really interesting that I was like, they're going to recreate 150-year-old beer. And I'm thinking, like, how rare is that beer?
Yeah. And then they just cracked it open.
And they just cracked it open casually. And they're like, yeah, have a beer, chuck it in, it'll be good. Yeah, that was interesting. So
hilarious.
Cool. We could get into our individual news stories. I have one other beer I'm going to open.
Yes, I want another beer. All right, what you got as your second beer then?
So I've got Elusive Brewing's Shibuya.
Oh.
Again, because I've had it before, I was like, oh, it's not like I'm cracking open something that's like super, super rare that I'm like, oh no, but I enjoyed it. And also it's clearly very relevant to my travels, in my Elusive Brewing glass and everything. The label, I do love the label because it is very like Tokyo, and I love that.
Tokyo skyline.
Very Tokyo skyline. My plan was, so I got like a label when I was there, just like on the backing. So when I was there last and bought the beers, and my plan was like I was going to take the label because I didn't want to take the can to Japan with me, because that's bringing something over that's then a pain. And I wanted to be able to like have a photo of the Elusive label like in Shibuya. I mean, there's definitely not
that.
Like, you can find, there's lots of areas that look like that, but I was like trying to find the area that looks like, I know so many areas that look very similar to that.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll take the label with, but then I was also like, when I stayed out of Shibuya quite a lot because it's just chaos. Like those areas are just chaos, and we had to, the few times we had to go for like a short period of time, I'm like, I can't deal with this. So I just didn't have the label on me, because every time we went, it was spur of the moment. It wasn't like we're going to Shibuya now. So
such good
intentions. I didn't have it on me, so I took it in my bag with me, but I never actually made it. So the fun fact is, it was with me in Japan, but it never made it physically to Shibuya. I mean, it probably did in transit. But it never made it to Shibuya. So what are you drinking?
I grabbed another from my Sam Adams stash. I'm drinking Port Rocker.
Port Rocker.
I know you've drunk this. I've never
drunk this
good. Before.
I love Port Rocker.
You've never had it. So it's a lemon radler. It's very lovely.
Yeah, it's just easy drinking. Like, I'm not a big radler person. It's easy drink. It's like relatively easy drinking.
And that kind of influenced what I was going to drink tonight. Like, I just wanted to, like, because I knew we were going to be chatting and you know, catching up. I just wanted things that were kind of easy drinking, that I didn't have to think too hard about. And both of these have been lovely.
Nice. I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad that, you know, on behalf of Boston, I mean, you're welcome.
I mean, obs, let's be real, Sam Adams is my fave. Like, they can do no wrong. So.
I just want, on behalf of Boston, you're welcome. Right, do you want to introduce your news story?
Yes, so...
I will say, hold on, for everyone listening, we picked themes, so we decided we'd pick a news story, and we'd pick a news story and how it somehow was relevant to our travels, aka the last 2 months where we've been basically on hiatus from recording.
Yeah, I might have gone outside of that a little bit because I found this,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not. It's kind of more like, so we were talking about how, like, you know, we've been crushing it these last few months, and I don't feel actually like I've been crushing my beer goals.
Oh,
And
okay.
we'll get to
I
that.
like
We'll
this
get to that in a
I
minute.
like this
But
deviation. I love that you're like, I
yeah,
was gonna do that and then I found this instead.
yeah.
Let's go with it.
So I thought this was interesting. So literally, posted on the 13th of November in the drinks business, written by Jessica Mason. Untappd expands beyond the beer category.
I think I did know that.
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw this.
It's like Coke or
where I
something.
saw it, but I was like, ooh, I want to read about that. That's interesting. So Untappd is expanding and is no longer just going to have beers. It's also going to include other drinks such as distilled spirits, wines, canned cocktails, THC infused drinks, coffees, and carbonated soft drinks. So, like, all the things are just going to be on Untappd.
Like, had an orange juice today. 5 stars. Tropicana, you did me good.
Right.
Too much. I bought pulpy. Too much pulp. Hated it. 1.
Right. Don't like orange juice.
Don't like orange juice, but thought I'd give it a go. 1.
Right. So apparently, consumers have made it known that they would like other beverages on there. So they're going to extend from 450 styles of beer to include more than 900 total distinct beer drinks categories to meet the needs of both craft producers and consumers alike. So you'll still be able to get the granularity that you have with beers. So they'll be in the settings section. You'll still be able to you'll be able to sort out what's visible across areas of the app, such as through search, through top rated lists and trending categories. So if you from that, I'm assuming that if you still just want to see beer, you'll be able to set it so you can only see beer. But Untappd say they're very excited for this evolution. It's a direct response to what they've been hearing from their community of breweries, bars, and restaurants. And modern drinkers have a curiosity that doesn't stop at one category. So they are seeing that breweries and beverage makers are not only making beer, they're making craft spirits, natural wine, non-alcoholic options, canned cocktails, tea. Like, I mean, I thought this linked quite nicely to the fact that you said there's like green tea infused in the World Beer Cup, tea infused beer. So obviously this is now filtering through to Untappd as well. They also believe that craft beer consumers are like not just the breweries, but the consumers are diversifying as well, and they're enjoying other beverage types. So they wanted to be able to reflect that in the app, and they're going to be able to check them in just like all the others. There's also a quote in this article from Dogfish Head founder and brewer Sam Calagoni, and he says, and we quote from the article, "Beauty is in the eyes of the beer holder. Our palates are like snowflakes. Each is a bit different from person to person. The Untappd community is all about sharing love and critiques for the diverse array of beers being made by breweries, small and large, far and wide. And Dogfish Head have always tried to push the creative outer atmosphere on beers and other tasty adult beverages. They've been making beer wine hybrids since the mid-90s. And they opened one of the first craft distilleries in America and have been making off-scented spirits and cocktails ever since. So he's not surprised that this is now being integrated into Untappd. My thoughts on this is I feel like we were kind of moving away from Untappd already because it felt like I've seen Untappd, especially over the last year. They've been using the insights that they gather from people filling in the app to like give that information back to breweries, back to beverage makers, which I guess is useful. But we've also seen that breweries are kind of being held to the numbers that you know the ratings that people are putting onto that app and it's affecting their businesses. And yes, everyone's got their own palate, but not everyone is a trained taster. And so why should those ratings determine whether a distributor is buying beer from a particular brewery? And so, I mean, we've personally chosen to start moving away from the app anyway.
Moving away, but not really towards anything, because I can't say I've done anything in the last 2 months.
So I have a point. That I come to with it. In fact, I have stopped putting in ratings.
I don't put ratings in
on it. I haven't put ratings
and my notes are only if something really moves me to the point of putting.
So I keep notes in a separate app if I want to write notes. I don't publish it on there. I keep it for myself. And I've actually had people comment on my check-ins and be like, "Why aren't you rating this anymore? Why aren't you putting ratings up?" And that just shows that people are looking at what I'm doing. I appreciate that people are using my knowledge, air quotes, to influence what they're doing. But I also don't want, what my personal feeling of this beer that I had at this time, where either I was having a really good time or maybe I wasn't, I don't want that to influence buying choices. So that's why I've stopped doing it. Tori came up with a whole massive spreadsheet that we've been using instead. But I tell you what, filling in that spreadsheet it's labor intensive.
It's
mate.
Not until you don't, and then that's the problem. Is like when I was on top of it.
I'm not on top of it.
It was fun. Like when
my beer check-ins are squirrels running all over the place. They're not ducks in a row. They are squirrels running everywhere.
And that's it. Is when I set it up, because it was always just like a best endeavors of fill in as much as you can, and I kind of set the caveat of like as much as I could fill in.
It's a brilliant spreadsheet. It's got all the things in it.
It's like broken down as best as I could into different tabs, and it's like fill in as much as you can, as much as the label will give, because sometimes the labels don't tell you much, and that's really eye-opening in itself. And it just got to like, the thing is when you're on top of it and you're like, okay, that's fine. Like actually, it's really quick. It's not actually labor intensive when you've only got a couple to do, like one session, like we've recorded and like, okay, I'm going to go and take this away and record it. The second you let it go 3, 4, 5 sessions,
I've done that several times,
or it's been a month, and you go, oh shit, that's my problem. Is I then have to go back through my photos and my Untappd, and I have to align my photos and my Untappd, and it's not good.
I don't actually know the last time I checked in, so I'd have to go look, and it's a lot. Like there's a lot for me to check in. So I was like, well, like I think it's very useful for us. As a podcast to have our stats, and so we can talk about that. I think that's really useful. And I think with Untappd adding these extra drinks in, it's moving further away from the reasons that I started using Untappd for, and I'm sure, no shade, like if you want to use Untappd, go use Untappd, that's cool. I personally that feels like it's going to get more complicated for me than just being able to look up a beer and check it in and whatever. So I did a little bit today. After reading this article, I was like, I feel like I really don't want to use Untappd anymore. But I still want the ease of being able to go to an app and just check in what I've done.
It's just annoying that there's no useful good apps.
Well, I asked ChatGPT and I was like, this is what so I've been using Untappd. This is what I liked about it. I don't want to use it anymore. This is what I want to get out of it. I've been using a spreadsheet. It's labor intensive. What can I do instead? There are some other apps, but they don't sound as good. But you can potentially build a Notion dashboard.
Well, yeah, like I can build an automated thing. I don't want to build an automation.
But then Notion's got an app, and so you can have a template, and you can just go into the app and check some things, and it will collate it for you. Because you can build stuff in Notion. I haven't got as far as how you build it, but I'm going to work out how to do it. And if
how much are they going to charge you?
Notion's free.
Is it?
Yeah.
We will investigate this later.
So I'm going to investigate it. I'm going to work out if I can build it, and if I can, I'm going to share it with you.
I'm looking. I think if you want to collaborate, it's not free, but that's fine. I can
just give you the template.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Yeah. You know what?
I reckon so. I'm going to try. This is my new project. I'm going to see if I can build a Notion.
The thing
to do
is
this
I was
instead.
like, I could have automated this all ages ago, and I kind of started down the path of how do I automate the spreadsheet that I built. And then I was like, I can't be asked to do this right now because it's so like there's so much that has to go into that. But then I didn't have an app that would play on the other end of it. But if there's
Right.
an app that you can make it even easier and do it on the
So we're gonna
go,
give it a go.
I'm here for it.
I'm going to give it a go. That's going to be my note because I would like to. Maybe my goal for 2026 is to try out this new app and see if I can do it consistently and if it gives us what we want from it. So
That's it. Okay,
anyway,
watch this
Untappd's
space.
adding extra beverages. I don't want to use it anymore, so I'm going to see if I can build my own.
TLDR of the news article. It's interesting because as you were talking about it, I sort of did like a full circle because like you first started talking about it and you were like, they're adding all these other beverages, and I sort of am like, oh yeah, that's not the one. Like, do I really want to be like checking in my Diet Coke here? Or,
Right.
Like that because or like when you said like coffees, I was like, what does it mean by coffees?
I know,
Is
what
it like
does coffees mean?
a Starbucks versus
Right.
a like, or are you gonna have like roasteries? And then when you sort of had me coming back round, it was because you were saying now breweries are doing like their own craft versions. So I was thinking, okay.
Things, yeah.
So I thought maybe I've misunderstood and maybe it's not that. Maybe it is a case of like when a brewery makes something, because this is what I have found is like annoying. When a brewery does make a product that's not a beer, they make like a particular cider that's not on, like they will make something or a canned cocktail that's like, it's sort of like, you're expecting to find it on Untappd and then you can't because it's not 100% in the guidelines of what you're looking for. That's really annoying. So I thought, oh, maybe they're expanding it so that way if a brewery branches out or a distillery branches out and they kind of make maybe distilleries want in on the game. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if it's still like these, you know, craft industries and they're just making products that are spanning and they want to be able to put it on Untappd, like, okay, fair enough. And then you turned the corner on the article and I was like, oh no, it's very much not that.
I think cynically, I think this is Untappd trying to find more ways to sell their insights.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked
because I reckon they've been doing all right on that because they've got a customer, but they've got customer base. They can see where people are drinking, what they're drinking, how much they're drinking, what they think of it. Like, you know, people are just feeling like it's free.
And I think the gimmick, people will fill in stuff like I had a Diet Coke at the movies and stuff like that because A, it's gamified, and B,
they'll stick badges on it and people will want to get those badges.
It's true. You gamify something enough, then 100% people want to get on board. But also, if they already have you in the beer market, I think there's going to be some level of like, I'm going to take the piss. Like, this is funny. I'm going to take the piss. This is a joke until it's not a joke and you're checking in your Coke at the, you know, at Terminal 3 Heathrow before your holiday, or, you know, that it will, what starts us off as a joke, I think people will just start going, yeah, why can't I rate my coffee actually? And why can't I rate my tea?
And do we then have to start thinking about it? Because like, I think on Untappd, like,
what's the criteria?
Like, what's the criteria? And then, because like, that's just,
what makes a good coffee? Like, everyone's opinion of that is different.
We're already seeing struggles from our craft brewers for the opinions that are being shared on there. So now you're going to lump that onto other beverage makers well.
I don't think other beverage makers will see that though, because I think maybe I think alcohol, like I think by and large the people that will be hit the hardest will continue to be the independent market.
Yeah.
So it will be
wineries,
creators, distilleries, like those people who are like the family businesses or the more independent businesses, like they're going to be the ones that take the harder hit, because nobody's going to like the standard of things of like Coca-Cola products, like that doesn't fluctuate in taste. That doesn't, you know, A, they don't care. B, their taste doesn't fluctuate much. Like they are making their product on such a level, and like C, they like to them this is just, it's just nothing. And I think it's the same thing with like tea and coffee. Like nobody's going, there's not a specific taste you're trying to like rate against that somebody would be like, oh, the taste of this tea, because it's all down to how you brew the tea. Like, you know what I mean? It's not
but there's people that are getting intense about that right
now. But how you can't make the same cup of tea twice. You know what I mean? Like you can, because I know some people. I know some people will go, I've perfected the art of my tea, and I like two tea bags, and they stay in for this long, and I put this much. It comes out this color, and I never understand it. So like that's the most stressful thing as me.
Oh my god, is there going to be a color rating?
Yeah, that's it. As a non-British person, the most stressful thing that you can do is like just go
a cup of tea.
Oh yeah,
it's so true.
Me having to make you a cup of tea, I hate that, because I'm like, here's the milk, put it in yourself. And we're an oat milk house, so like I don't even have normal milk. So I'm like, what you're telling me a color? I don't know what that means. I don't drink tea. I can't make it for you. But I think those are the kind of things that it's like, you can't, in theory, like, how do you make the same cup of tea twice? How do you rate a cup of tea? Because it's all down to like who's making it. And then it becomes like, okay, actually, is it going to be on less focused on the drink and more focused on the venue serving the drink?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can see all the pitfalls of this.
And also, there's just been that thing with Instagram where it will log where you are, but it logs like you on a map.
I don't like that.
And it's very specific. Like, so I've gone in and turned it off because it doesn't just pick up. Oh yeah, I'll show you how to do this.
Okay, thanks. So I don't like that.
Yeah, if you post things, if your location is switched on, people can see you on a map, but they can see exactly where you are. Like if you're in a building block, they can see where you are. It's very specific.
That's wild. That's so unsafe.
Yeah,
that is
that's why people have been
been
telling
women
to switch
like
it off.
That is so unsafe,
because it's not just I'm in Canterbury. It's like you are at this specific spot. So
you are in the back table at this place.
It's too specific. So is Untappd going to end up getting like that? Like,
I don't like that. I like to think that I've got my stuff pretty securely like cracked down, so I'm hoping I already have that shut off, but you'll have to show me, because I don't like that.
Yeah, they recently updated it and it was going to be on by default, and I think there was an uproar about it, and then they went there's going to be a notification that tells you that you can turn it on if you want.
I hate that. I've never hated something so much.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting.
So anyway, Untappd adding additional beverages.
Yeah.
Do that as you will, listeners.
Let us know how you feel about that, because I don't know. Like I said, you nearly won me over when you were like, and these independents making other beverages. I was like, okay. And then it was like,
it was interesting to me that they said breweries, bars, and restaurants. And that's where my cynical part went, you want the insights so you can sell it to the beverage industry and to the hospitality industry so they can use those insights to, which, cool. You're providing them with insights so they can potentially make their businesses better, but also we know the rogue nature of Untappd already. Is that going to be as helpful as I think it is?
I'm already in my head playing out all the ways that this could be infinitely worse, and I think that's really sad, because I feel like I should give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll wait and see what happens. I should give it the benefit of the doubt.
Gin and tonic, don't like tonic, don't like gin.
Yeah, I can see. Like I said, I can see all the multiple different ways that this plays out, that it's like so bad for so many different people. Like I said, venues, it's like this venue didn't serve this particular drink in the way that I was expecting it to be served, and the way that I would pour it for myself at home or whatever, or like the ambiance I drank it in wasn't great. Therefore, I can see all the ways this is not gonna be great, but how people will still be hooked because of the gamification. But watch this space, I guess. Interesting. And watch it. Maybe we'll develop between us. We'll find a way to develop our own solution
for ourselves.
I mean, my article is very much more to the travel
more
brief.
Positive.
Well, interesting.
Sorry, I brought Dr. Doom and Gloom.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, mine could be very Dr. Doom and Gloom, because AI is a very sensitive subject.
It is.
And mine has to do with AI, but it has to also do... I stuck to the brief of I'm going to focus it on my travel.
Good. I'm glad you did. I just thought this was really interesting, and I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going off
I say that in the fact that I absolutely love the fact that you went, I'm going to do that, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And it was like, do you know that like meme of the guy walking with his girlfriend, and then he's like looking back and he's like, ooh. It's me. Like that. You were like, ooh, Oh,
that was totally
that
me.
Untappd one though. Ooh,
that Untappd one though.
You're like,
this is why I'm Communicator of the Year, because I don't fit into your box, Tori. I do what I like.
Yeah, this is it. I stuck to the box. I'm not Beer Communicator of the Year. I will say though that I noticed that the top of your shirt says Crush, and
it says Crush, Citra, Dulcita, and Mosaic.
Well, this has Mosaic and Crush in it, so I'm 50-50 of your shirt. So there we go.
It is. I had some really lovely Dulcita fresh hopped beers actually, which is of no use to anyone because you can't get them. You won't be able to get them over here. But had some very lovely fresh hopped Dulcita.
You
beers.
could have
Dulcita
found
does great.
A great news article that had to do with that to fit your brief, but you wanted to be the Beer Communicator of the Year.
I did.
Yeah, so my article is posted by Asian Brewers Network website, and it's called AI-driven fermentation time of craft beer cut by 28% in Japan. Oh. Slightly misleading because it's making it sound like it's like all of Japan. Yeah, it's like all of Japan has cut their fermentation time. So I'll just read you the article. So it's Yokogawa Electric Corp, in collaboration with Craft Bank, a Japanese craft brewer, cut fermentation time by more than a quarter by using artificial intelligence to better manage temperature during the process. So a Japanese industrial technology company, Yokogawa Electric Corp, successfully reduced craft beer fermentation time by 28% using artificial intelligence in a proof of concept test with Kyoto-based brewery Craft Bank, highlighting AI's potential to optimize traditional beer production processes. The collaboration applied Yokogawa's autonomous controlled AI algorithm called Factorial Kernel Dynamic Policy Programming, FKDPP, to the fermentation process of Bank IPA, an award-winning craft beer, according to an announcement. The AI-generated temperature control schedule shortened fermentation from 336 hours to 240 hours while maintaining quality standards. The test focused on optimizing temperature settings during fermentation when yeasts convert sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide over approximately 2 weeks. Previously, Craft Bank maintained constant temperatures throughout fermentation, with brewmasters manually measuring sugar content and conducting daily sensory evaluations. They basically said that the simulator was replicating the beer production process, and the AI, with the AI developing temperature schedules that the brewmaster then implemented manually.
Okay.
And a sensory evaluation confirmed all quality criteria was met during the accelerated process. So yeah, it was a successful trial. So I thought that was, I'll post the whole, I didn't read the whole article. It's not massively long, but I didn't read the whole thing. But I thought that was really interesting because obviously AI has a very bad rap at the moment in a lot of ways. Like it can be very useful, but it can be very hurtful. I think people worry about it like taking their jobs and taking it. And I will say like there are flaws with AI as well where it's like, you know, if it's going to take your job, it's not going to do it properly a lot of the time, especially when it's a creative type job. But I think what's interesting with this is like what I use AI for in my job. It's like it's meant to aid you and help you and make your life easier. And it sounds like this is being used in a way not to kind of go, we don't need brewmasters anymore. It's just like, let's make your life easier and do these calculations and help you work out the best way to actually cut fermentation time so you can get the beer out quicker. So
that's making the process more efficient. They are using less electricity. It's, you know, frees up tank time. Like there's lots of benefits to that. And brewers are all looking for any way that they can continue to create a quality product. Like you don't want to rush things and it not be as good, but you do want to be able to cut costs and cut time and cut labor where you can, but still produce a quality product because everything is so expensive now. Like you've got to find ways.
Yeah, I just thought it was really, because it's a way that I think every time that we think of like how do people use AI within the beer industry, there always tends to be like a really not useful thing, like making can art and writing the tasting notes and stuff like that. That's like not the, like, yes, it's making somebody's life easier, but the value that it's given is maybe not worth the what you're using it for. Whereas like actually in this instance, like I thought it was really interesting to hear like a positive news story on like actually how AI has the use of AI in the brewing. Like I never hear about it in the actual brewing process. And it was interesting to hear about it in the actual brewing process and actually it as a positive of how it made somebody's brewing process easier. So it'll be interesting to see, because this is the only time I've ever seen this mention was for this particular thing. So I didn't dig into it more to see if it's happened again since. It'd be really interesting to see if that was like a one-off fluke. But the fact that they said like they did it, they tested it, all the quality levels were still exactly where they expected them to be.
And they still use sensory evaluation.
Yes.
That's people drinking it and say, you know, at its most simplest explanation, that's people drinking it and saying that it tastes right.
Yeah, and it's not only that, it's like the brewmaster was still needed because the brewmaster did all these changes manually. It was just that the brewmaster was assisted in knowing what to do, when to do what, at what points in time. So yeah, I just thought this was a pretty interesting news story. The potentially, like, could this be a future path for some people to take for their brewing process? Like, is this a useful way of utilizing AI to help do more with a smaller team of people? Like, if you only have a small team of people, like, you're limited in how much you can, like, you can't really go and risk, oh, let's try doing, I think this might reduce the time, I think this might do this, because if you're wrong, you've just cost
you've
however
lost
much.
into a batch of beer, right?
Yeah, could this be a value to people moving forward, especially smaller teams that like need that extra support in that way? I don't know. Just thought it'd be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I like it.
That's my news article. Don't really have a lot of time left, but I did add some travel questions to our tankard. Should we do like one or two?
Yeah, let's do.
We spent so much time talking about Modelo. that I'm like, oh, we were going to have question time. It was going to be such a straightforward thing. I've pulled out, so I've added.
This has been a good catch up, though.
It has been a really good catch up. I've put in so many more that were like travel themed questions.
Yeah.
But I know that these two on the top, I don't know what they are, but I know these two on the top were travel based ones, because I thought let's pepper in some travel based questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Right. Let me open the first one. Ooh. What beer style do you think varies the most from country to country?
Ooh. I think if you just say wheat beer, because a Hefeweizen and a wit beer are very different, but sometimes they all just get called wheat beer. And sometimes, you know, sometimes they've got a different fruit in them, and sometimes it's just wheat, and sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's got that pepperiness to it, or sometimes it's got the banana and clove, sometimes it's coriander. You know, I think wheat beer can be quite different in different markets.
I feel I've had less variation with my expectation of when I get a wheat beer than when...
I just really like a wheat beer, so it doesn't matter to me. But some people get very, very particular about it. I discovered recently.
I think maybe it's because the majority... but I think it's because I've not come across a lot of where it's just called like wheat beer, but it's actually not. Like, I think I've just been... when I'm ordering it, I kind of know more. I've read the... like, I know what I'm getting. I think my experience, the variation is the most... is like pale ale.
Yeah.
Because people call like...
Is it an English pale ale? Is it an American pale ale?
But like, and I want to say IPA.
Is it a Belgian pale ale?
I want to say IPA, but like a lot of times at least there'll be some indicators with the... Normally there'll be some indicators with the IPA where you can kind of maybe guess what they're doing. Whereas like pale ale... Is it
actually a pale lager, not a pale ale?
With like a pale ale, no one goes like, this is a West Coast pale ale, and then like it's just like it's a pale ale, and then you're like, oh, it's an English style pale ale, and it's really thin, and the taste is not. And then another time you get like the haziest, fruitiest thing you've ever tasted, and I think that for me is like the biggest wild card across the globe of like I never know what I'm going to get when I'm going to get a pale ale, especially if the description's not good. Whereas like a wheat beer, I kind of have some level of what I'm going to expect, even if it doesn't live up. Pale ale, I'm like, this could be fucking anything right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Buckle up.
I recently had, not a pale ale, but I recently had a West Coast amber lager.
Is that even a style?
Apparently so. It was quite tasty.
I'm intrigued.
But I was like, don't really know what that is, but let's try it anyway.
That's fantastic. I've never even dreamed that was a style, and now I kind of want to try it. Oh, this is a big one, and this is not one that I...
It's not the one you thought it was.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is not a travel-based one. Hold on, I'm going to put this back because I feel like this is too big.
Okay.
This is too big to unpack
Too
right
chunky.
now. I've read it, and I'm like, I can't unpack this right now. It's too much.
I'll just cut that out.
Right. Ooh, this one's sweet. There were other ones that I was hoping we'd get.
Okay.
But this one's not good. Like this one's not bad.
Yeah.
If you could teleport anywhere in the world for 1 pint only, and it has to be a whole pint, like you can't be like, I'm gonna get 2 halves and make it a pint. Like you're getting 1 pint, and then that's it, and then you have to teleport back. Where would you go and why?
Ooh. That's really tough. There's 2 places that spring to mind that have got like real nostalgia for me. And one would be Skagway Brewing Co. in Alaska. And I'd have a pint of spruce tip blonde and be scared whether it was as good as my memory makes it out to be. Or I can't remember what the bar was called, but there was this really great bar in New York that we just happened across, and it had like this massive craft beer menu, and like I had my first, whichever the Christmas ale was from, like Christmas Tree, I think it was called, from Anchor, which was their Christmas beer. I had a black pale ale. Ooh. Not a black IPA, but a black pale ale.
Which we established could be anything.
From Bronx Brewing, that was just amazing. And we were just like, that sounds interesting, and we tried it, and then we came back to that bar and brought other people with us because we were like, you need to drink this beer, it's so good. And I would have a pint of something from there, because I reckon the black cab black pale ale probably isn't on anymore. I'd have to time travel. Go back and have.
If you can't time travel, and we're just talking about like you have to go somewhere for a pint, you don't have to specify what the pint is. Specifically one of those two. You'd still go there.
Two. Yeah, I'd still go to one of those 2.
Okay, yeah. That checks out. That's fair. Okay, well, if you're going to do 2, I'm going to do 2 because I've got 2 wildly different ones. Oh, it's really hard. I think one, I might say probably Sam Adams. Ooh, and the reason I say that is because I think for me, my enjoyment would be more that like I could have my family with me, like I could have a pint of good beer in a place that's familiar to me.
I wouldn't want to go back for just 1 pint though.
Yeah, but I would take the 1 pint over not at all.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of like, because I was trying to think like, is there anywhere else that I would go in that area? And then I was like, well, yeah, I don't know, because I'm like, there's lots of places in Portland I'd go, but like, actually,
to the brewery or to the bar in Boston.
I don't know where the bar is because I only know the brewery.
Near what's the food?
The brewery has a bar.
The brewery has a bar in it, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's another bar.
They also have a big bar in Boston that's near the food hall.
Are you thinking of Faneuil Hall?
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, so I think I'd maybe, I don't know. That's actually really hard because I feel like maybe I'd change. I'm saying Sam Adams because I know that the beer's good, but like the reality is actually if I could be someplace maybe in Portland, because that's close enough for my family to go to, or down the Cape, maybe there because I'm like, there's the ocean. Maybe it depends on time of year. Like if I'm teleporting now, I'm going to Sam Adams. If I'm teleporting in nice weather, I might be going to either Salem, Mass, Portland, or the Cape, because that's actually by the water and it's nice, and I'm doing that.
We just need to organise a girls' trip to Salem.
We do, yeah. No, I mean, I will take you there when it's not Halloween, because Halloween's actually fucking atrocious. You told me that. It's awful. Don't go on Halloween. But go in autumn, just don't go on Halloween. After Halloween, still autumnal vibes, and then you get Thanksgiving.
Now.
Yeah, like now. And then I think actually my second option would be I would definitely go back. I would teleport to Japan for sure. Like, I think I'd probably go. Initially, my thought process was like, I'm going to go to Miyajima Brewery, because it's beautiful. Like, you're on this island, just outside Hiroshima, and it is just like gorgeous. And especially now with like autumn foliage, and there's deers wandering around this island, and it's just like just stunning. Very small, like it's not a huge place. But I actually think about it, and I know some people are city people and some people are not city people, and I'm very much a city person, and I think I would go to like the busiest, loudest place in Tokyo, with the busiest, loudest, brightest place in Tokyo, and I would just sit there, and maybe I'd go to the Asahi Sky Lounge, not because I like Asahi beer, but because I could just sit there and look at the skyline and the colours, and just drink a beer and just be like, yes. So yeah, either somewhere in Tokyo, I don't even care where, as long as it's busy and colourful, or somewhere back in New England, one of those places, just because of my family. And to me, it's funny because the beer is less important, especially because I'd have to get a whole pint. And then once the pint is gone, I'm like, I gotta go peace.
Gotta go now,
nurse the pint, enjoy the time, and then go. So for me, the beer itself is less of the theme, and it's the scenery. So there we go. Nice. We've got I'm gutted that I didn't think about the Novembeer, just to bring it back to something we were talking about before we started recording. I wrote the intro, didn't even pick the like lower hanging fruit. I just picked the normal low hanging fruit. I'm gutted because the Novembeer is really good. So I want to say,
I labelled this recording in our recording program Novembeer. I was just writing November, but my keyboard got stuck on the E and gave me 3 E's, and I was like, taking those E out. Novembeer. That's what we should call it. We're going to call this our Novembeer catch-up episode.
So there we go. Yeah, I feel like we've got our first Novembeer episode. What a way to come back. What a waffle. Well, I would say what a waffle. What a great catch-up. We're not even drunk, and that's the best part, is we're just waffling on, because genuinely, I think we've both been so busy, we really haven't had.
No, we really haven't.
A lot of actual proper just a voice note here and there, right. And it's been like something's happened.
Voice notes,
talk to you
later.
Photos. Random photos.
Talk to you when you get back.
Talk to you properly later, and then that's been it. So you've probably got to hear most of the catch up in real time.
Even when I won the award, right, I sent you a picture, and Ruth was like, "Has Tori replied? Did you tell her?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've told her. I sent a picture." I was like, "But she's in Japan,
I was
mate.
sleeping.
Like, she's probably asleep." I was like, sleeping. She's like, no, it's not sleeping time now, surely. And I was like,
yes, it is.
I'm pretty sure she's asleep right now.
It was like 2 a.m.
Like, how rude. She hasn't responded to you. I think she's in bed.
It was 2 a.m. And then I think the next thing I said to you, I woke up and I said, congrats, now we know who's the better one of us. And I think that was it was actually that order is my messages. So that I was like, but haha, congrats. Yes. I was asleep when you sent that to me. That's not my fault.
I had assumed you were asleep. And I probably wouldn't get a response from you. But Ruth was like, how has she not replied to you? That's so rude. And I'm like, she's probably asleep.
She told me she was going to call me when the awards were kicking off, and she didn't even do it. She's rude. She's rude.
She had to present one. She had to present 2, actually.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that? I'm going to ask her all about it.
Present 2.
Fantastic. So that's it. Like, they're getting to hear this catch up in real time, which is fantastic. We've waffled on. People are going to be like, this is what's won awards. Is nominated.
This is award winning, people.
But I like to think we gave some good news articles. We gave you some news articles, so it counts. Joe, if people want to
Yes.
ask you more about, I want to say the cake running or whatever it is, the running of the cakes.
Dessert dash.
Yeah, okay.
Dessert dash. If you would like a
You
full
were
rundown.
so serious. You were like, it's dessert dash. Get it right.
It's a dessert dash. It's very important. If you would like a rundown of how to run a dessert dash for your fundraising activities, come and find me. I am Love Beer Learning on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, but really, I'm on Instagram. Come find me there. Ask me all your dessert dash questions. You can also come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email me lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Tori, if people want to tell you where they would teleport to have one pint, where can they come talk to you?
Yeah, if you want to tell me that, I feel like that was a really good question. Actually,
it's a really great question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So, if you want to tell me where you teleport to, or you want to share your, give me your travel tips of where I should go next in Japan, where I should go when I go back to the US the next time, where I should teleport
anywhere, and
get to go anywhere. Where should I teleport to? Because where would you teleport to? Let me know. I'm on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism. You can email me at adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, which I obviously clearly never update, which is adventuresinhoptimism.com. If you want to tell Joe and I both, give us your feedback on the Untappd thing, because I think that's what I'm most keen on. And what's your feelings on the AI? Like, give us your feedback on our news articles. Let us hear your voice. You could let us know at A Woman's Brew on Instagram, or a woman's brew podcast@gmail.com. Or we also have a website that does also not get updated really as much as it should, which is a woman's brew pod.beer. That's a woman's brew pod pod.beer. So yeah, watch that space. Fingers crossed that we win an award. I mean, I'm not holding out hope because there's some really good people on that list, and you've just listened to the last hour and a half, so let's see what's happening. You know, but yeah, watch this space, and on that note, I'll finish the rest of my beer. Cheers.